And coming up on the news at noon, shutting down abortion in West Virginia, what both sides have to say about the new legislation in the state. And later, talking to kids about guns, what you can expect from upcoming safety events in Montgomery County schools.
And it was a fantastically crisp morning out there. Now with the sunshine, we're starting to warm up nicely this afternoon. Just how warm are those temperatures going to get on this beautiful day? We'll let you know in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Damon. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for DC News Now at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Tense moments for students in Montgomery County this afternoon after police were called for a gun on campus. Now, they were called to Bethesda Chevy Chase High School. After investigation, Montgomery County Police say that there was no gun found on campus. The lockdown has been lifted, and students will be released at their normal time. Well, happening right now, we have a police activity between Wisconsin Avenue near Observatory Lane in Northwest D.C. Here's a live picture. Our photographer on the ground says the Secret Service is investigating. D.C. police tell us that a car could have hit a building. We will continue to follow this story on air and online at dcnewsnow.com. We are learning today about a former Prince William County man who is wanted for alleged child sexual assault that took place over 2 decades ago. Police in Pennsylvania now have him in custody. Seth Kaplan from our sister station WHTM in Harrisburg has more.
47-year-old Sean Corey Gooden lives in the Palmyra area. North Londonderry Township Police took him into custody because of an arrest warrant in Woodbridge, Virginia, in Prince William County, south of Washington, D.C. Police there say he sexually assaulted 2 minors who were between 8 and 13 years old back between 1997 and 2000. Police in Virginia say these were not random victims. They are people who were already in Gooden's life prior to the dates of the alleged assaults. Gooden is now held at Lebanon County Prison. Gooden was a partner with the Thomas and Hafer law firm. The firm told us, quote, "As you can probably imagine, we are not able to offer a public comment on this situation." Gooden is no longer listed on the firm's website. He was previously on the executive board of Boy Scouts of America's New Birth of Freedom Council, which tells us the allegations, quote, "are disturbing and opposed to everything for which Boy Scouts of America stands." He is a former volunteer council board member and has not been active since 2019. His term formally ended in May of this year. The organization says it added Gooden to a database that prohibits him from being involved in scouting and, quote, "It is our understanding at this time that the alleged behaviors do not involve scouts, but we will continue to cooperate with law enforcement." Scouts also say there's no record of Gooden being registered with the organization at the time the alleged assaults took place. 2019, when the Scouts say Gooden's active involvement ended, was after the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, sometimes called the LDS or Mormon Church, ended a century-old partnership with the Scouts. Social media posts by the church's Harrisburg stake depict Gooden as holding a series of leadership positions over the years, including president of its Lebanon ward, and ABC 27 News has learned Gooden's involvement with the Scouts was tied to his church leadership role. The church didn't respond to multiple requests for comment.
And that was Seth Kaplan reporting. Prince William County Police tell us that they had not received the reports of additional victims, and they are working to extradite Gooden from Pennsylvania to Virginia. Well, the country's eyes are on West Virginia right now as lawmakers there just passed a sweeping abortion ban, with few exceptions. Now, under the measure, rape and incest victims would be able to have abortions up to 8 weeks of pregnancy, but only if they report it to law enforcement first. The same applies to minors, but they would have up to 14 weeks. An abortion now must be performed in a hospital to be considered legal. Any physician who performs an illegal abortion could lose their medical license.
It was all about politics, and but again, I have to listen to the experts. I'm a physician. I try to not do more harm than good, and this bill probably does more harm than good.
What I said in the Senate holds true. It's tough for families, individuals, people in the workplace. I mean, this is a very personal, difficult issue. And so what the bill did today is it did create a ban on abortion for healthy fetuses. It did create exceptions.
Well, the bill now heads to Governor Jim Justice's desk for a signature. He has 15 days to sign or veto the measure. And nationally, arguments over abortion are taking place in the Capitol as lawmakers consider a new bill that would ban abortions nationwide after 15 weeks with some exceptions. Hannah Brand is in Washington with more.
Instead of letting states decide, one lawmaker wants to set a nationwide standard for abortion access.
Abortion should be the exception, not the rule.
Senator Lindsey Graham is proposing a federal ban on abortions past 15 weeks, with exceptions only for rape, incest, or to save the mother's life.
We're not a better nation here, aborting babies at 15 weeks who can feel excruciating pain.
Democrats in the White House call the proposal extreme and out of touch.
That is not in line with the majority of Americans.
And Senator Patty Murray says Republicans want to rip away women's rights.
They sure seem to think they know better when it comes to your body. This is horrifying.
Senator Chuck Schumer added he thinks the plan is hypocritical.
Republicans are twisting themselves into pretzels, trying to explain why they want nationwide abortion bans when they said they'd leave it up to the states.
And Republican leader Mitch McConnell seemed to echo that idea when asked about the bill.
I think most of the members of my conference prefer that this be dealt with at the state level.
It's unclear if other Republicans support Senator Graham's bill. Senator Rick Scott says he hasn't decided.
There has to be reasonable restrictions, but there has to be exceptions.
With Democrats currently in control of Congress, Senator Graham says he realizes his bill may not even get a vote, but promises.
If we take back the House and the Senate, I can assure you we'll have a vote on our bill.
But without more unity from his party, he can't guarantee it would pass. In Washington, I'm Hannah Brand.
Montgomery County Police are asking for help identifying a suspect in an armed robbery. It happened on Friday at the Wisteria Wine and Beer in Germantown. You're looking at surveillance video from the store, and police say the suspect pointed a gun at an employee and demanded that they open the register for cash. He also threatened a customer who tried to leave. Now, according to the police report, the suspect is described as a black man with long dreadlocks, a gold cuff on his right side, and a goatee. Well, developing now, we are working to learn more about a house fire last night in Prince George's County. According to our contributor Larry Calhoun at DC Real-Time News, the fire happened in a house on Marlboro Pike in District Heights. The fire department says the home was empty and there were no injuries. Also developing now, no charges. Frederick police officers involved in tasing the man who later died will not be prosecuted. Now, this is body camera video released by the police department. It shows the moments leading up to the deadly call that happened last November. Police say 23-year-old Daniel Holly was naked and erratic when they showed up to his home. According to the Frederick County State's Attorney's Office, Holly slapped an officer and then tackled the same officer before another fired his taser to stop Holly.
In this specific case, there was no evidence to support charges. The actions of the officers were all in compliance with department regulations, and there was nothing done outside of the law. So in this case, there was nothing for us really to review beyond that.
And the Maryland Attorney General's Independent Investigations Division says that Holly's exact cause of death has not been determined. Well, in our schools, Montgomery County is bringing high school students together for Assemblies on gun safety. MCPS announced the move yesterday, and school leaders say that the meetings will start in a few days. Now, later last year, Montgomery County had its first on-campus school shooting at Magruder High School in Rockville. There was also a stabbing at Montgomery Blair High School in Silver Spring. MCPS leaders say the nearly 800 illegal guns taken off the streets this year worries them. So parents, what can you expect the school, the police, and the state's attorney's office to discuss with your child? Strategies for solving problems without weapons or violence, staying vigilant, taking a see something, say something approach, and how to report suspicious behavior. Families will be able to opt out if they choose. New today, affidavit released. We're learning more about the search for former President Donald Trump's Florida home. New elements released yesterday by a federal judge detailing how the FBI subpoenaed back in June for surveillance footage. This happened weeks after a visit to the former president's Florida estate when agents saw more than 50 boxes inside of his storage room. That's according to the report. Now, the affidavit also says that in July, The Trump's legal team provided the FBI with a hard drive. The Justice Department said of more than 11,000 documents, nearly 100 of them had classification markings.